What's good, B-Sounds? It's your boy, Kit Raid. I would like to share with you today my favorite exercise that isn't called a Z-press. I've been messing around with this one for years, and I think I've finally hit upon its final form. I've always called this a Z-press. I don't know where that came from because this isn't one. An actual Z-press is just a seated overhead press, which this contains, but isn't just. I'm suggesting that we call this a Z-sit, half sit-up, half Z-press. I know there's already a Z-sit, but it's a mobility exercise. Those don't get you swole. None of us are probably gonna do it, so it can do one. It's just the very bottom of a hands-free Turkish get-up. I think we should call it the Turkish flap around or something. And this, a Z-sit. Agreed? Great, let's move on. A Z-sit is a weighted sit-up with an overhead press. Now, I'm generally not a fan of sit-ups. They aren't particularly effective as a six-pack builder, and when most people do them, they just throw themselves past the range of motion in which their abs are under the most load and use hip flexors to finish off the top of the movement. And because you can do a ton of them, your spine gets a little bit of a mangling. With a weighted sit-up, however, you can't do as many, less reps, less wear and tear, and if done right, your hands are fixed, holding a heavy thing to your chest, so you can't use momentum to throw yourself up and skip that effective range of motion. Start your Z-press by lying flat on the ground with your legs splayed. During the movement, you're going to keep your legs straight and keep them on the floor. You aren't going to lift them off the floor and use them to rock you up. If you can't do it without that rock, lower the weight. Let's get effective reps. Your wide legs are going to give you a nice stable base to press from and some weight to counterbalance your weighted sit-up. Now I keep saying sit-up, but it's better described as a curl-up. Imagine a crunch that never stops. Or if you have experience with the double bell Turkish get-up, exactly that. Curl your thoracic spine forward into a crunch and then pop up. Don't throw the weight forward and pull yourself up off it. Keep it slammed into your chest until you reach the top of your sit-up, at which point you want to have a tall spine, a big chest, and a neutral neck. Neutral neck throughout. From here, press the weight directly up and we're reaping all the benefits of a Z-press. You got an overhead press that's all shoulders, lots of core stabilization, flexibility in your hamstrings. Remember that you want your legs straight, flat on the floor as if someone's taken a nail gun and stuck you through the knees to the floor. As you press, you're going to need to send your head back to allow the bar to pass. As soon as it's eye level, move your head forward. Move your head back forward. Move your head forward through the window created by your arms. Make sure that you're pressing straight up. You should be upright enough not to incline press it. That's going to be easier on the shoulders, and easy is not what we're here for. Reverse that press so the bar is now tucked just above your chest. Now reverse that curl. Low back down first and unfurl your spine like a cat gently onto the floor. Repeat to fade. Loading. You need to use a weight that is suitable for correct execution of the sit-up and not just use whatever you can overhead press. The Z-press is a great overhead press accessory movement with carryover to core strength. You can load it pretty heavy. This, the Z-sit, is a core strength exercise with carryover to overhead press. So you need to use a weight that sucks to sit up with, but you can still execute with great form. Where to program it? I like to use this as part of a Tabata or EMOM. It's absolutely not one of my sets and reps core movements. It is, after all, a ground-based spinal flexion movement, which could, with great volume, possibly, eventually cause issues. There are other safer exercises. Longevity is important to me. I flipping love this stuff and I want to be doing it when I'm 90. I love it. So my bread and butter are things like hanging leg raises, wipers, V-sits, hollow body hold. But that doesn't mean I'd avoid this exercise. I love this exercise. It's challenging, it's different, it's fun. I'm going to go off on a slight tangent here, but I don't think there are bad exercises. There's better and worse execution of exercises. I got a comment on my Fight Club video saying dumbbell flies are bad. And now I have huge respect for the dude who posted that comment. I value what he has to say and I appreciate him bringing the conversation, really I do. But millions of people use flies to develop a great chest without issue. Now I'm not one of them, but how could that exercise be bad? Now, the guy made great points. He gave examples of more ideal exercises, and I commend that entirely. Why would you do a dangerous exercise if a less dangerous exercise is available to you? But it was in the plan I was reviewing. I can't very well review it and not do it. I don't have a cable crossover, so I couldn't do the alternative even if I wanted to. I'm just saying, I'm not afraid of any exercise, and you shouldn't be either if you know you have an impingement issue. Maybe a dumbbell fly is not for you. If you know you have a low back issue, maybe this one's not for you right now. All I'm trying to say is that everything we do as worker-outers is something a bit dangerous that damages the body in a way that it has to compensate for. That's the whole point. It can and will cope with pretty much anything you throw at it. We are not fragile machines. Think about deadlifts. What's the number one cue? It's flat back. Watch your back, neutral spine. Now think about stone lifting. You literally can't do it with a flat back. You need to be around the stone. I know it's not a one-to-one comparison, but it is picking up a heavy thing off the floor. Tire flips are probably a better analog. But why aren't strongmen's spines crumbled to dust? They do this stuff with heavy weights, 4 times, frequently. I don't disagree at all that, for example, dumbbell flies can't be problematic, but it's 2021. What isn't problematic nowadays? Not everything is always ideal, but you aren't fragile. You're equipped to deal with whatever you decide to throw at yourself. Look at David Goggins.
Who's gonna carry the boats and the logs? That's you, buddy.
I'm not crazy, motherfuckers. I'm just not you.
Anyway, that's the Z-Sit official title now. If you have a better name for it, let me know. If it's cooler, I'll adopt it. Have fun messing around with this one. It is challenging. Do get good at it before you stick it in an EMOM, but whatever you do, get them gains. Be well.